And welcome back for more Final Fantasy XIV, raising our summoner up. We actually got past level 15 and got to 16 before doing the next job quest, because here we're at the Hall of the Novice, which teaches you basically how to, the very bare basics of how to play your role. Like in this case, we're a DPS, so it sends you through a bunch of drills such as avoiding area of effect attacks and so on and so forth. What I didn't realize is it gives you experience points for doing those. So I decided, let me go ahead and cut that out right now. We will stop doing that and we will immediately go do our level 15 class quest instead. Otherwise we'll end up just stupid overpowered for the quest and make it just too ridiculously easy. Plus, being as how Hall of the Novice is, well, it's not required for main story, but the main story drops you right there in that hallway where I was at. So there's really no excuse not to go through all those drills. It'll give you a full set of gear, as well as a ring that gives you a 30% experience buff. Or is it 50%? I can't remember, but it definitely buffs your experience points. So there's absolutely no reason to not do all the trials in the Hall of the Novice and collect all the rewards. Of course, that ring drops from the last trial they throw at you, so you have to go through the whole thing to get it. But I'll leave that to you. We'll just focus in on this for right now. Topaz Teachings. Here's where we're going to get our tank type pet. You seem tired. Are you sleeping properly? One's reasoning can suffer without sufficient rest and recuperation. Should you deem yourself fit for duty, pray make your way down to the practice floor. Foreseer Kyla has requested you accompany her on another official inspection. There is, however, a requirement for your participation. The Foreseer will explain the situation. Will no doubt use 4,000 words to do so. She is awfully wordy, not to mention a touch insane, but oh well. Let's see what she has to say. I was beginning to think I'd miscalculated. Thank you for coming. I will soon be boarding a trading vessel suspected of smuggling. All merchants' ships that make use of Lim's elements as ports are subject to inspection by Malvin's Gate assessors. It is a routine I perform daily. In the case of smugglers, however, there is a 75% probability of encountering resistance. Thus, I would appreciate your company during this assignment. It is now that we must discuss the requirement of which you were informed. Though I have full confidence in your martial expertise, it is imperative that you first acquire the ability to summon Topaz Carbuncle. Such knowledge will be released to you contingent on your acceptance of this duty. Very good. The arcane entity given form by the Topaz geometry excels in defensive techniques. With such an ally at your command, the potential for injury in even the most brutal of battles can be significantly reduced. Indeed, we could not conduct these dangerous spot inspections without its support. Please return to Mistress Tina and inform her of your participation. I will join you once I have completed some final adjustments to my tactical formulae. Okay. Quick rundown, Topaz is your tank type pet. He does not stay at range. He gets right up in the face of your enemy, and every attack he does generates enmity, aggro, whatever you want to call it. So that the enemies attack it instead of you. You have agreed to accompany the Foreseer, then I shall gladly instruct you in the use of Topaz Carbuncle. Think of this entity as a shield, and be sure to intersperse it between you and your enemies should the inspection turn sour. right. And that action is summon 2. And now, different pet actions. Now you see he does not have a knockback. His typical is just increased enmity and shining topaz, which is his area of effect attack, which means if you keep him on sick, the worst that can happen here early on is that he might drag in extra enemies that are straggling about. But later on, he gets a stun attack. But usually, since you're pretty much only going to use him while soloing, you can pretty much leave Topaz on sick, unless you're doing a gimmick run with a party and you are tanking with your tank type pet. But yeah, we're not covering that at level 15. You're a far cry from that at this point. I've got to go back and get the second part of the quest. Let's see. You'll be using him for this quest, but then you'll pretty much be tucking him back away. All right, Tina, what's the true story on this here inspection? The mercenaries Greg and Alan are here to assist with the inspection. Both are old hands when it comes to escorting Kayla during her more dangerous duties. Well met. My spells are at your disposal. He's your healer. I'm pretty sure he's a tank. He's a marauder, I think. This won't be the first time we're expecting trouble, but as long as we follow the Foreseer's tactics and keep a clear head, we'll come through just fine. The Morning Star is preparing to dock in Ailport. We will meet our first challenge, however, before we even board the vessel. It is almost a certainty that the merchant ship has hired a thug or two to accost us at the pier. I calculate the probability at 98% that you're going to get jumped. The crew wish to avoid attacking us on deck, you see, as that would all but trumpet their criminal intentions to the world at large. Now, once we do manage to clear the rails, we will face a deck crowded with armed sailors. For a small party such as ours, the most effective strategy will be to incapacitate individual foes as swiftly as possible. Each opponent we down is one less weapon raised against us. It is imperative that we do not allow ourselves to become tangled in multiple drawn-out skirmishes, lest we be overwhelmed. I call this stratagem hammerfall. Strategy is a tool used to manipulate one's situation into the desired reality. Yes, we've heard that before. Keep those words in mind. It is time we departed. Let us regroup before the main gates of Ailport. All right. So we will head to Ailport, which happens to be right where the Hall of the Novice is located as well. So if you really wanted to, right during this quest, you could run right over there and take part if you wanted to, or felt that you needed to, because the gear you drop from it is the best gear you can get at level 15. So if you're not confident in your ability, you think your stats might be a little low, because as you can see, I'm wearing garbage here, so yeah. Oh, we should be alright for this. Let us be about our task. Pray inform the steersman at the pier that we are ready to conduct our inspection. Should violence be offered, you are to execute stratagem hammerfall. Do not forget your tactics are both your shield and your weapon. Alright. Let's go get mugged. Now here, whenever I'm tanking anything with my pet, I always lead off with the pet. Because let's face it, the job of a tank is to get aggro before you get beat on. You send your tank in first. And you switch enemies once he has aggro. You'll see here in a second. You're with the folks from Melvin's Gate? Ah, hells, I knew there'd be trouble. Here we go. Now he automatically starts on him. Dot him up. Switch your Carbuncle onto this one. And you can switch them back and forth as well to make sure it maintains aggro on all your enemies. Just like a real flesh and blood tank would do. They'd be rotating through the enemy. Well then, I'm certainly glad to see you can handle yourself. You'll find the landing boat just down here at the end of this ramp. I'll have no part of what comes next, though. Alright. And just because I'll wait a few seconds till I can get an ether flow stack back. No reason to run into battle with everything on cooldown. There we go. Deftly handled. Once again, I am reminded of our guildmaster. Thanks to your efficient response, we will be able to commence this inspection earlier than I had calculated. We shall board the merchant vessel out in the bay. Alan, if you would take the rudder, the Morning Star awaits. Since their welcoming party at the pier failed to deter us, I expect, with a probability of 85%, that our arrival will incite further belligerence. Our objective, however, is not to trade blows, but to gain access to the hold. It may behoove us to employ stratagem hardhead. The aim of our opponents is to buy time so that suspect goods may be tossed into the ocean. I do not intend to give them that time. We will bull our way toward the cargo hold as quickly as we can. It is a tactic fraught with risk, but one that your presence makes possible. Shall we begin? I am Foreseer Kyla. By the authority of Melvin's Gate, I request that you surrender your goods for assessment. Well, now, your timing couldn't be worse, lass. The old door's all rusted up, you see. Bloody thing won't open. You'll have to come back another day after we've fixed the hinges. I will see that cargo now. Any vessel entering a port of Limsa Luminsa is bound by law to submit to routine inspection. The law, is it? Lads, I reckon it's time our guests had themselves a little accident. Pitch him over the side. Yeah, good luck with that, buddy. Once again, same way. Lead in with your tank pet. Target, which can be a bit of a pain to do because the auto target likes to, as you cycle through it, likes to target your allies, other NPCs, basically everybody except who you're trying to attack. Coming out the woodwork. This dude just line of sighted us. Ain't gonna help him though. Be sure to lay in your dots on as many enemies as you can as you cycle through. And that's that. A masterful display. Now we can finally gain access to their cargo. Except... Uh-oh! What have we here then? It's one of the bitch admiral's lapdogs scampering about my ship. Just like your mistress, always sticking your nose where it ain't invited. No, it can't be. Yeah, I'm afraid it is. Recognized my pretty face, did you? Dude, find a mirror. But you were caught, exiled. Borzier, are you hurt? Can you stand? Stay back. You stay away from me. Borzier, please calm down. What are your orders? I've had enough of your whimpering. I've certainly had enough of these bloody books. It's clear you ain't learning anything, though. Reckon it's time you got a different kind of lesson. Ah! Well, unfortunately, that's a scrap for another day. Kayla, Nausicaa, preserve us. She's fainted. We must withdraw. Quickly, back to the boat. We'll carry the force here. Ah, that's right. Just slink on back to your mistress, your worthless curs. like she's just laying about. Now we have to report back to the guild. Unfortunately, we'll have to wait before beating down the baddie there. Yep. It's good to see you well. George sent word ahead of your travails. An unfortunate turn of events, but considering the infamous Blackheart you faced, you might have fared much worse. Have you heard of the pirate Doug? He was exiled from Limsa Laminsa some years ago, but it appears he has chosen to defy the Admiral's orders. And once more he dares lay a hand on Foreseer Kayla. The poor lass must have been terrified. If I had known Doug was aboard that ship, I never would have assigned her that duty. The assessor may require some time to recover. For Kayla, that man is nightmare made flesh. Though her physical wounds will soon mend, there is little we can do to salve the hurt to her mind. If you are concerned, angry mayhap, harness that energy and channel it into your training. I predict we shall be needing your skills again before long. And we got ourselves a brand new weapon upgrade. We don't need none of this crap. We'll go ahead and take the money. Money's always good. Can't go wrong taking the money option. And we will be seeing Tina again at level 20. But anyway, Topaz Carbuncle is now at our disposal. We have a tank to roll around with us now as we're running around the overworld. But as I said before, unless you're running some sort of gimmick party, you don't take him into duty. You're going to stick with your caster pet for now. Because a pet that draws enmity will only interfere with what your tank is trying to accomplish. You're working against your tank. You don't want to do that. Keep your tank happy. Take care of your tank, and your tank will take care of you. Hopefully. Hopefully. You know, sometimes you have these tanks that think they're funny and they, you know, want to troll. But for the most part, don't do things that are going to interfere with your tank and party content. And with that being said, now that we're level 15, I will continue through Hall of the Novice, and then I shall be back when we take on our first duty, which will be the Sastasha Sea Grot. Until then, take care.